All right, so get ready because today we are diving into a future that honestly sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, it's wild.
But it could actually be a lot closer than any of us realize.
Yeah, for sure.
We're going to be talking about this prediction by Dario Amodei. Have you heard of this? A compressed 21st century.
I have, yeah. It's basically like he's saying we're going to squeeze like 100 years of progress into the next decade.
Okay, so what does that actually mean, though?
Yeah, so Emma he's the CEO over at Anthropic, and they're all about AI safety. And he really believes that we are seriously underestimating what AI can do, but not in like the doom and gloom kind of way that seems to dominate the headlines these days.
Right, yeah, not the Terminator scenario.
Exactly. No, not at all. This is like AI being a force for good, a powerful one.
Okay, so less Terminator, more like what, a superpowered sidekick? I like that.
Totally. Emma actually uses this great analogy. He says it's like having a country of geniuses all packed into a data center.
Whoa.
It's AI working with us, not replacing us.
Okay, that is a very cool and also slightly intimidating thought. All those geniuses at work.
Yeah.
But this is where it gets tricky, right? Because it can't be all sunshine and roses. Even Amodei acknowledges that there's got to be some downsides, right?
Oh, for sure. And I think it's important to point out that Emma is a realist. You know, he's not some pie-in-the-sky optimist.
Right.
He's quick to point out that even with super intelligent AI, there are still limitations. Like, we're still bound by the laws of physics, right?
Right.
You
Yeah.
can't just snap your fingers and cure a disease because an AI has a breakthrough. These things take time to develop and implement in the real world.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So with all that in mind, where does Amodei see AI having the most impact first?
He breaks it down into 5 key areas where he thinks AI is going to be huge. And the first one is especially relevant to, well, everyone listening, really.
Yeah.
Human health.
Okay, yeah, I'm all ears.
He's talking about AI potentially helping us eliminate most diseases within the next decade.
Okay, hold on. 10 years. That's a bold claim. How does he even begin to make that argument?
Right, so it's not that AI is suddenly going to magically come up with cures for everything overnight.
Right.
His point is that AI can massively accelerate the pace of discovery,
Yeah.
especially those massive game-changing breakthroughs. Things like CRISPR, for example. You familiar?
CRISPR, yeah, I've heard of it, but to be honest, I couldn't really explain it. And I know it just won a Nobel Prize, so it's got to be a big deal.
It is a huge deal. Think of it like microscopic scissors that can precisely edit DNA.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's CRISPR.
Powerful scissors.
Right. And it's revolutionizing how we treat genetic diseases.
Right.
So it's a perfect example of what he's talking about.
Okay, that's straight out of Star Trek. But where does the AI come into play in all this?
Well, Amadei believes that there are tons more CRISPR-level breakthroughs hidden in plain sight, just waiting for us to connect the dots.
Okay, so like our own brains are the bottleneck.
It's possible. And that's where AI comes in.
Right.
It can analyze massive data sets, spot patterns that we might miss, and even design and run experiments, all much faster than we ever could. And that's how we get those big aha moments that lead to these breakthroughs.
So we're talking about AI being like the ultimate research assistant, working tirelessly in the background to make all this happen.
Exactly. And the most exciting part of this isn't even just about curing diseases like cancer or Alzheimer's, although obviously that would be huge. Amadei believes that AI could even help us double the human lifespan. Think about it. In the 20th century alone, life expectancy almost doubled.
Wow, yeah.
Now imagine what we could achieve with AI helping us.
Doubling our lifespans. Okay, that's going to take some getting used to, but I'm not opposed.
It's pretty mind-blowing, right?
But it makes me think, what about the quality of those years, you know? Not just living longer, but living better. And this is where Amadei's predictions get even wilder, right?
Absolutely. Like, we're talking about using AI to actually understand and even rewrite the human mind.
Rewriting the mind. I mean, where do we even start with something like that?
Well, it starts with understanding how the brain works, right? And believe it or not, AI is giving us some amazing insights into that. Specifically, there's this thing called AI interpretability that's key here.
Okay, AI interpretability. I'm going to need a little help with that one. Sounds complicated.
It sounds way more complicated than it is. Basically, it's about figuring out not just what AI systems are doing, but how they're making decisions, like what's the logic behind their choices. And the really cool thing is, in trying to figure that out, we're discovering things about our own brains that we never knew before.
So we're using AI to reverse engineer the brain.
In a way, yeah. There was this study recently where researchers were looking at how a certain type of AI makes decisions, and they actually discovered a whole new neural mechanism in mice. because of it.
Wow.
Like, the AI was showing us something real about how brains work.
That's incredible. So we're learning about AI, which teaches us about ourselves, which then helps us create even better AI.
Exactly. It's this amazing feedback loop. And the implications for things like mental health are huge.
Oh, right. Because if we can understand the brain better, we can treat mental illness more effectively.
Right. Imagine AI helping us develop treatments that target the specific neural pathways involved in things like depression or anxiety. No more trial and error with medications or therapies. We could actually address the root causes of these conditions.
Okay, now that would be a game changer. And I know Amade doesn't stop there.
Oh no, he takes it even further. He thinks AI could potentially help us improve the baseline human experience.
Okay, now that sounds interesting. What does that even mean, improve the baseline human experience?
Imagine a world where moments of joy, creativity, and fulfillment are just more accessible to everyone.
Mm.
Not some kind of artificial high, but like enhancing our natural capacities for those things.
So it's like AI helping us become the best versions of ourselves mentally and emotionally.
Exactly. Think about it. What if AI could help us tap into those states of joy, creativity, and meaning more easily,
Mm.
or help us navigate life's challenges in a way that promotes well-being? That's what Amadeus is talking about.
Okay, I'll admit that sounds pretty utopian, but I like the way he thinks. But let's shift gears for a second and talk about something a little more grounded. All of this progress, it's incredible, but it doesn't mean much if it only benefits a select few, right? I know Amade talks about global inequality, right?
He does. And he actually thinks AI could be a powerful tool for tackling global poverty and improving the lives of everyone on the planet, not just making the privileged even more privileged.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. How does he see that happening?
Well, we were talking about AI in healthcare, right?
Mm.
Imagine being able to use AI to not only speed up the development of cures, but also to distribute those cures and treatments more effectively, especially in developing countries.
So we're not just talking about AI helping to cure diseases, but making sure everyone has access to those cures. That's huge.
Absolutely. It could be revolutionary, and it goes beyond healthcare, too. Amade also sees AI playing a major role in boosting economic growth in developing countries.
Okay, so how would that work?
Well, think about the economic miracles we've seen in places like East Asia over the past few decades. Amade thinks AI could help replicate and even accelerate that kind of progress all over the world.
So instead of widening the gap between rich and poor countries, AI could actually help close it.
That's the hope.
Yeah.
But, it's not a guaranteed outcome.
Right, of course not.
Amade acknowledges that technology alone can't solve all of our problems. And there are always potential downsides, like AI being misused or even making existing inequalities worse. We also have to think about the human element. What if people just reject these advancements?
It's true. I mean, look at the anti-vaccine movement.
Exactly. It's a good reminder that even with the best intentions, technology is just a tool. It's up to us to use it wisely. And that brings us to another big question that Amade tackles: AI and its impact on democracy. It's something I know you've been thinking a lot about.
Definitely. It's one of those things that keeps me up at night.
I hear you. But Amade's take on this is actually surprisingly optimistic.
Oh, really? How
Yeah.
so?
He believes that AI, in the right hands, could actually strengthen freedom and democracy, both in our own countries and around the world.
Okay, I'm really curious to hear how he makes that case. Because a lot of people, myself included, are pretty worried about the opposite happening.
I get it. But Amade lays out a pretty compelling argument. For one thing, he's a big proponent of what he calls an entente strategy, where democratic nations work together on AI, not for military dominance, but as a way to ensure that AI is primarily developed and controlled by, well, governments that are at least somewhat accountable to their people.
So strength in numbers, like a global alliance for good.
Exactly. But of course, even democratic governments can misuse technology. We've seen plenty of examples of that.
We have. And AI has the potential to take that to a whole other level, right?
It does. But Amade also points out that AI could actually be used to make our democratic institutions stronger and more accountable.
Okay, so how would that work?
Imagine AI systems that can detect and root out bias in our legal systems, to make sure everyone has equal access to justice, regardless of their power or status. Or AI that helps to expose corruption and hold our leaders accountable. There's a lot of potential there.
I see what you're saying. It's not just about preventing the downsides, but actually using AI to make our systems better. Okay, so we've talked about healthcare, the economy, democracy, but there's still one big elephant in the room, right? The future of work. If AI can do everything, what does that mean for us humans? Are we all just going to be out of a job?
It's the million-dollar question, isn't it? But Amade's view on this is more nuanced than just robots are taking over.
Mm-hmm.
He argues that in the short term, at least, humans will still be incredibly valuable because of something called comparative advantage.
Okay, comparative advantage. That rings a bell from Econ 101, but remind me what that means.
It basically means that even if AI becomes better than us at a lot of things, there will always be areas where humans have a natural edge. Things like creativity, complex problem solving, emotional intelligence, those uniquely human skills.
So it's not about trying to beat AI at its own game.
Right. It's about finding ways to collaborate, to use our strengths alongside AI's strengths. Amode believes this will actually lead to a surge in new jobs and industries that we can't even imagine yet, just like every other technological revolution throughout history.
Right, like the agricultural revolution or the industrial revolution. Each one probably felt pretty scary at the time.
Exactly. But we adapted, we found new ways to live and work, and ultimately our lives got better.
Okay, that's actually a really good point. But I have to ask, even if we manage to solve the whole work thing, how do we find meaning in a world where AI can do pretty much everything? If a machine can write a symphony or paint a masterpiece, what's the point of even trying?
I think that's the ultimate question, isn't it? And Amode's answer is surprisingly simple. He believes that true meaning comes from human connection, from pursuing our own unique passions, and from contributing to something larger than ourselves. And those are things that AI can't take away from us.
So it's about figuring out what makes us human and focusing on that.
Exactly. It's about embracing our creativity, our curiosity, our capacity for love and compassion. These are the things that make life worth living, and they're things that AI can't replicate.
That's a really beautiful thought, but it requires a real shift in perspective, doesn't it? Like, we have to stop defining ourselves by our jobs or by what we produce and start valuing things like connection and creativity and just being present in the moment.
I think you're absolutely right. And honestly, that's a conversation we need to start having now. Amade's vision, it's optimistic for sure, but it's not naive. He's not saying it's going to be easy, but he is saying that a better future is possible. And it starts with us making conscious choices about how we want to use this technology.
So, what you're saying is this isn't just a conversation about AI, it's a conversation about what kind of future we want to create for ourselves, for our children, for the planet.
Exactly. And that's a conversation I'm excited to be having.
Me too. And I have a feeling we're going to be continuing this conversation for a long time to come. So on that note, I want to thank you so much for diving deep with us today. And for everyone listening, keep those questions coming, keep exploring these ideas, and most importantly, stay curious. Until next time.